We are in week 10 of the League of Rock. This is the last rehearsal that these guys are going to have at the rehearsal factory. It has been a very interesting ride so far. I think it's important to note how hard everyone's worked. Everyone has come from not being bands to now being solid bands. Some have evolved at different rates, some have hit a peak in the middle, some are still growing.
I like the quieting, definitely down to the whole note strums of each chord.
Yeah. Tonight we had two, as I always say, two amazing coaches, but it is true, we do have the best of the best here. We'll start with my good friend who oddly looks a little bit like me. His name is Russell Gray, lovely guy, and he's been helping all the bands with the arrangements.
My name is Russell Gray from Classic Albums Live, and I'm also the North American guitar specialist for TC Electronic. It was exciting to see the progress everyone's made and the pre-show excitement. It's you could feel it in the air, lots of nervous energy. Biggest challenge, what I'm finding, is that getting people to believe in themselves, like reinforcing the belief that they can do it and they can sound like the pros with a little bit of practice and a little bit of hard work, and basically believing in themselves.
I want you to want me. I want you to want me.
But you need to play some of it a bit quieter.
Yeah, we're not going down now.
Yeah, it's no light and shade, you know.
We've also brought in a rare treat for us. He's the founding drummer of the Yardbirds, Mr. Jim McCarty.
Hi, I'm Jim McCarty. I'm the drummer with the Yardbirds, and I was in Renaissance, or Renaissance as you say, and now I'm doing my own stuff, solo stuff as well, but I'm going on tour with the Yardbirds very soon.
This is a guy who's been involved in written songs that are still a part of popular culture. Tunes like For Your Love, to Heart Full of Soul, to even the first band to actually perform Dazed and Confused as a band before Zeppelin. Jimmy stole it from them. He loves working with our bands. He's really positive and has been through it all. So he's one of those guys that when he speaks from experience, it's like a sermon from the mount. The guy knows exactly what he's talking about and has been in every situation we could think about.
Well, there was a lot of diversity between the bands. All of them were very enthusiastic, very keen. There were some very good musicians and a couple of very good bands, I thought. You know, just I couldn't really say anything to help them, you know, just a couple of little points and they were there, you know. Yeah, but think of the light and shade and try and bring that different. Every session I've done with the League of Rock I've enjoyed. It's great to see people that are very enthusiastic playing and wanting to be in a band. It just proves that, you know, it doesn't really matter how old you are or whenever you start, because you all have to start sometime or other. And if you've got the enthusiasm and the will to carry on and have good fun, of course, that's great, and I love that.
Gentlemen, if I may introduce Mr. Jim McCarty.
Yeah.
You think I met my hero?
Yeah, Jim McCarty. Hey, how you doing?
My favourite bands, I think, were the last band I saw, which was Dr. Jam. They had really good chemistry between them, and I thought the chemistry breeds confidence and attitude, and it was all there, and they did all that stuff very well. And also CLM, they were very loud, but they were getting there. They were pretty good as well.
For these rehearsals, especially the last rehearsal before the show, there's a lot of nervous energy and a little bit of worry and all that kind of stuff. And I'd like to remind the bands that some of the best shows I've ever been part of, the last rehearsal before the show was a disaster or a nightmare, and usually that's a pretty good recipe for a great show. Everything seems to pull together on the night. So I think that all the bands sound great, and it's going to be a great night.
That shirt. Do you still have that shirt? What is that? Jazenbrowski Funeral Home.
Next week we have the last live workshop. I think you're going to see a huge difference in stage presence, in their vibe, and also in some of the bands, because amazingly, they continue to shift. People are added to bands, people leave. So keep tuned. It's going to be amazing.